Let me ask you something. What if the wilderness doesn't just happen once? What if the in between isn't just a phase you pass through, but a rhythm you learn to move with? Maybe you thought you already walked through the dark, the confusion. You started to redefine faith. You began to learn how to trust yourself again. And yet, here you are, again. Not quite where you were, but not yet where you're going. If you're feeling like that, you're not broken. You're just back in the in between. And today, we're going to talk about that, the return to the threshold. Welcome to Rooted and Roaming, a sacred space for the untethered seekers. I am your host, Tiffany, and around here we don't do quick fixes, perfect answers, or spiritual bypassings. This is a place for the messy middle, for the becoming, for the in-between chapters where faith is redefined, identity is unraveling, and the healing doesn't come with a manual. Through honest storytelling, kindred conversations, and soul grounding practices, we'll explore what it means to stay rooted in your truth while roaming freely through your becoming. So take a breath, take up space. You're not lost, and you're right on time. Let's begin. Welcome back to Rooted and Roaming. I am Tiffany. If you've been walking this journey with me from the very beginning, then you already know that the in-between is where we began. 13 episodes later, here we are again. But it's different this time because you are different now. This isn't the raw unraveling of the first deconstruction. This is a quiet return. The space between deeper layers, the holy moment between who you were and who you're about to become. And there's something important I want you to hear today. This return to this in between is not a mistake. It's not a setback. It's not evidence that you're failing. It's actually a sign that you're alive and evolving. We've been taught to see growth as a straight line. Break free, fix yourself, arrive, be authentic. Growth doesn't just move like that, though. It's a spiral. It deepens, it returns again and again to the same core themes, but from new altitudes with new eyes and new strength. Sometimes you return to the wilderness not because you're lost, but because the next version of you needs space to be born. And it's often in this very space, this return to the unknown, that we are faced with one of our biggest challenges. It's the internal battle where we say the words, I'm just trusting the process, while inside your heart is pounding, your mind is racing with thousands of worst case scenarios, and every cell in your body is screaming, what if it all falls apart? That feeling, that conflict between wanting to surrender, wanting to control everything, that is the very essence of learning to have faith in the unknown. In our last episode, we did such an important foundational work. We explored personal faith, the practical act of rebuilding trust within ourselves. We started to build a little bit of solid ground beneath our feet. Today, we're taking that self-trust and learning how to stand on it as we face that shakier, more unpredictable territory of the unknown. We're going to get really honest about why it is so terrifying and explore how we can begin to learn to trust even when we feel overwhelmed. So, what do we even mean by faith in the unknown? Let's be clear. This isn't about blind optimism or pretending that challenges don't exist. There's a sacred moment, and you might be in it right now, where everything familiar starts to dissolve. The job no longer fits, the relationship feels misaligned, the version of you that used to know exactly what to do goes silent. You're not who you were. You're not yet who you are becoming. And in between is the unknown. The space is uncomfortable, it's uncertain, it can feel like you're free falling, but it's also where every miracle I've ever experienced started. Because in the absence of control, we finally invite trust. Not just trust in the outcome, but in the process, in the timing and the unfolding, in the idea that even though we don't see the full map, we're still on the right road. So I want to talk about this from a place of vulnerability because I'm here again, right back in this space. It's funny because you would think after all the work I've done, after all the conversations I've had on this podcast, that I would be comfortable here, that I would immediately recognize, oh, this is just the phase I'm moving through. Everything's going to be okay. And in time, I'll flow right through it. But no. When I enter the in between, half the time I don't even realize I'm here. My inner critic gets the best of me and I start to spiral, asking these frantic questions. What's going on? Why do I feel this way? Why am I stuck? What's the path I'm supposed to be taking? You'd think by now I would know this. But do we ever truly get a formal announcement that we're entering the in between? I am learning that's a no. We don't get that. We often don't realize that one chapter has quietly closed until we feel ourselves stumbling and trying to find our footing before the next door opens. But now, as I'm starting to realize where I am, as I'm naming it, my anxiety lessens and I'm finding moments of peace within the uncertainty. And it's helping so much, that personal faith I've been working on so hard to build, that trust in myself, is serving as an anchor while I discover the next layer, faith in the unknown. And this faith in the unknown, it feels like it's constantly being in the in between because it asks us to continuously have faith in what we cannot see. The unseen path forward, the person you might spend the rest of your life with, the dream job that's coming, the purpose you're meant to live out. There are so many unknowns. Even if you feel like you have everything figured out at this very moment, life will eventually shift. Something good or bad may happen that flips everything upside down, and you'll find yourself right back in this space of trying to figure it all out, navigating the path of uncertainty, and feeling all the different emotions. Maybe feeling weak, worthless. Maybe that's you. It's definitely me right now. I am navigating faith and belief not only in myself, but in what else may be out there, which for me involves God. We'll go deeper into that in episode 15. What I can say now is that this journey is unraveling things I thought I had already healed, which is a little silly because, in my opinion, we never truly heal completely. We think we've healed one area, but then we level up our life. And that new level peels back another layer of that onion, and we're back at it, working through something we've already worked on. But the difference is now we have some tools to help get us through it, to manage it, and we pick up more tools along the way. So when that onion gets peeled back again, we're a little more ready. This past week, I have felt lost in this faith of the unknown. But with that said, I am ready to be in it, to sit with it. As I record this, I'm in a self-mastery quest. And for the next 4 days, we're tasked with being silent. This doesn't mean completely silent, because we still have lives to live. But it does mean disconnecting as much as possible. No social media, TV, music, podcasts. It's about sitting with myself, truly listening and tuning into what I can hear in the quiet. When I do speak, it needs to be with intention and clarity, which is challenging for me because I tend to ramble. It's about being present and listening without feeling like I have to immediately respond. So I will have plenty of time to sit with myself and navigate through this in-between sacred space. And if you find yourself back here as well, please know you're not alone. I'm right here with you. So let's break this down. Faith in the unknown isn't about blind hope or toxic positivity. It's about trust. It means trusting the process even when the plan isn't clear. Trusting in divine timing when things are moving slower than you want. Trusting in a greater orchestration even when your current scene feels chaotic. And maybe most importantly, trusting that your inner knowing still matters, even when it can't be validated by logic or external evidence. Now, how do we stand steady in this space, especially when everything feels so wobbly? This isn't about finding a magic fix. It's about gathering tools that help us navigate moment by moment. First, when the mind starts to spin with what ifs, the most powerful thing we can do is breathe before we build. You don't have to force a new identity, a new belief system, a new 5-year plan right now. Your job is to breathe. Breathe into the space without needing to fill it. This honors the sacred pause. When you feel overwhelmed by the vast of the unknown, use anchors, not answers. Instead of searching for the final answer, look for what grounds you today. What is the one small tangible thing that brings you back to the present moment? A warm drink in your hand, the feeling of your feet on the earth, a lyric from a song that brings you a moment of peace. These are your soul breadcrumbs. Follow them, one at a time. They will steady you. When you feel stuck in a loop of fear or confusion, practice micro surrenders. Instead of trying to control the entire outcome, which can be exhausting and impossible at times, choose to surrender just one tiny piece. Maybe it's the how, maybe it's the when. You can even say it out loud to make it feel real. I release control of the timing. I trust this unfolding for me. This small act of letting go can create immense space. Lastly, when your inner critic tells you that things have never worked out and never will, track the evidence of grace. This is what I call the divine data tracking. Get a notebook or write notes in your phone, whatever works for you. Write down every single moment where something you couldn't explain worked out. The chance encounters that change your day. The unexpected solution that arrived when you stopped forcing. The moment of synchronicity that made you smile. You are gathering tangible proof for your nervous system that you are, in fact, held and guided even when you can't see the whole plan. Something incredible happens when you stop trying to predict every step. Your energy shifts from anxiety to alignment. The vision opens. You start to feel guided, not pushed. And yes, some days you'll still panic. Some days you'll want to retreat back to control. But more and more, you'll notice this in the stillness underneath the chaos. that stillness, that's faith, not in the doctrine or pre-written script, but in the rhythm of its life. So today we honor the in-between again. We name it as not a problem, but just as a path. We remember that the growth spirals are not sprints, and that the wilderness is not an absence of direction. It's an invitation to trust deeper. And here's the beautiful thing. The more we trust the unknown, the more open we become to the people, the guidance, and the support we never knew we needed. Next week, we'll talk about the sacred gift of finding people within this wilderness and how to build new soul-aligned communities in the exact season you thought you had to walk through alone. So my invitation to you today is go out into nature, sit under a tree next to water, whatever grounds you. Just be there in silence, no phone, just you. What comes up, just notice it. Journal about it if you want. What is guiding you to that next step? Where are you in this wilderness? And no, you're not alone. So if today is unclear for you, let it be. Let it be holy. You're not alone. You're not behind. You are being guided even now. Thank you as always. And until next time, stay rooted, keep roaming, and I'll meet you in the in-between. Thank you again for being here, for listening, for letting this space be a part of your journey. If something in this episode stirred something in you, let it root. And if you are still in the messy middle, still figuring things out, you're not behind, you're becoming. Make sure to follow or subscribe so you don't miss out on what's next. You can connect deeper with me on Instagram, or if you're craving a sacred community, join us at Rooted in Roaming, the Facebook group. The links will be below. Remember, you don't need to have all the answers. Just take a deep breath, speak your truth, and have the courage to keep going. Until next time, stay rooted, keep roaming, and I'll meet you in the in-between.